Recording in progress. Welcome back to the Nisto Bros podcast. I'm in the original man cave where it all started.
We're back.
Episode 66. I got the Mario Lemieux jersey on, vintage. I'm all ready for the hockey draft, the Stanley Cup here. You know, we're talking about hockey here, and I love it. I'm always excited.
Mike,
what's up, dude?
Episode 66. No. That was last week's episode. Last week was the Stanley. This week, NBA Finals draft is going. Last week was the Stanley Cup.
But it's 66.
I see that, but check out last week's episode if you guys want to see. Episode 65 was the Stanley Cup draft.
Oh, hell. All right. Well, I got this on anyway for 66. All right. Episode
66 is going to be what, Mike?
It's going to confuse a lot of people with the Penguins jersey on, with the Rangers flag and the Bruins thing over here. They're like, who the hell is this guy like? Who doesn't?
Yeah, I don't even know.
It's Mario. Come on. But yeah, 66. Here we go. And I heard what you said. I know what it is. I know what it's going to be. It's going to be good.
Can't wait. It's going to be the NBA Finals draft.
Oh, I thought that's what you wanted me to do. Sorry. No, it's actually what it actually is.
Oh yeah. Well, no, you could have said that. That's one for the counters out there. Whoever's drinking along, as we say. Yeah, it's going to be an NBA Finals draft. We will get to it later. Obviously, at the time of recording, we don't know the two teams that are going to be in there. So we included all three teams, and we'll explain that when we get to the draft. But we're going to waste no time here getting into the happy birthdays on July 3rd. Last year, I believe we recorded on the 4th.
Might have actually been the 4th.
I remember we did the episode about stadium food, baseball stadiums, America's pastime. Something like that. But anyway, happy birthday to Andrea Barber, aka Kimmy Gibbler from Full House. That's what she's most known for. Actually, I'm gonna be honest, don't know her from anything else.
I don't
but
either.
She was so iconic, Kimmy Gibbler, in the Full House series. You know, everyone grew up with it, and then she came back on Fuller House, the Netflix reboot. But yeah, happy birthday to her.
Lost my hat in the shuffle
Any
there.
Other comments on Andrea?
No, I think like what you said, very great character in Full House and Fuller House. Maybe one of the best supporting roles, if you want to say that, like not the main character, but like she was always very, very funny.
Low-key, I feel like that's what makes a good sitcom. You have to not just have the interesting main characters. You have to have those good side character dynamics and how it all plays out.
I agree, and I think a lot of them have that. And even if it's sometimes I feel like it's more than one. It'll be like multiple, like maybe just like for an episode or two here and there. Like I'm thinking of Friends. I'm thinking of Janice. Like she's there here and there. Like something like that.
Mr. Heckles, he's there for a few of the episodes, but not always. Right. But yeah, I'm gonna say it's Andrea Marianne Barber.
Andrea, I have a guess. I'm not gonna say it though. And if I'm right, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna say on Andrea Bethany.
Bethany, ooh.
Bethany.
All right.
I'm going Bethany. She's on a little ABB action.
All right. She's got a very nice middle name here. None of us were right. Andrea Laura Barber.
Nope, that's not what my other guess would have been.
So was it Kiki?
No, almost.
Rondé?
No.
Oh.
What?
Like the football players, Tiki and Rondé Barber.
Oh, I thought you said Kiki. Like Kiki. No. All right.
She turns 45 today. Looks great for 45.
Oh, yeah, definitely looks great for 45. I think they all do, really.
They aged
Fuller
well.
House, they did age well, with the exception of Mary Kate and Ashley, but that's not on the show. Happy birthday, Timu Solani, because I think we're talking about hockey. We're going to talk about hockey. Teemu Solani, it's his birthday. I have no idea what the flip his middle name is going to be just to get that out of the way. But Teemu Solani, my goodness, an absolute unit. He played for like ever, it seemed. Bless you. Winnipeg Jets, like the first Jets, like the OG Jets. Then with the Ducks, I mean, he put up like crazy number. I think he still holds the record for rookie goals. I think he had like 50 or something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was like a lot. And just an all around beauty. Really good ambassador for the game too. Post retirement, of course, he still stays involved with the Ducks.
Nice.
Teemu Solani.
Teemu Emu Solani?
Absolutely not.
You don't think it's Emu?
He's Finnish, and I know of two guys in the NHL. Well, there's obviously more. I'm gonna go Teemu. There was a guy Saku Koivu. I'm gonna go Teemu Saku Solani. There's no way.
I'm gonna go with
I want to change my mind.
Teemu Noah Solani.
I think I'll keep my guess, but I don't think he's gonna have a middle name.
Okay, it's Teemu Ilmari Solani. Ilmari.
Never in a million years would I have gotten that.
Yes. So happy birthday. You want to guess his age?
He retired a few years ago. I think he might be the big 5-0.
Very close. 5-1.
Dang.
Okay. And our last birthday is a baseball player. We're going all around. Hitting everything except for football, even though I just talked about it. Moises Alou. Happy birthday to one of the famous Alou brothers. It's a very storied baseball family. Right. I believe brothers or cousins for current Mets manager Luis Rojas. I feel like I heard that they were brothers, but then I'm like, wait, they'd have different last names, so it doesn't make sense to me. Obviously, Felipe Alou was a very storied player as well, but Moises played for the Mets for a while, so he's got a soft spot in my heart. And yeah, I don't have much else to say. He was. We'll look into his stats a little bit. I don't have anything off the top of my head, but
the thing I remember the most about him was his crazy batting stance. He had very like up tall and like held the bat up like super high.
Yes,
and like very like wide stance. Oh no. He had something like weird with like his legs. He would like his knees were like in. It was a very strange stance. Very strange. But he was good.
Hands way up, and then knees were like
bent in, right? Yeah, yes. It's so strange.
Yeah,
he was one of those guys too that would swing and hit anything.
Yeah,
kind of like a Vlad Guerrero, senior, and like an Adrian Beltre. Like they could swing from one knee at a ball that bounced, and they'll hit it like off the wall or like over it. Like it's crazy. Or some of his stats, if you were going to read those off.
I don't want to read. I don't want to get to his middle name. So once we guess the middle name, I'll talk about his stats a little bit.
I'm going to say Moises Franklin. Franklin.
Yeah, I had a teacher in my high school named Mr. Franklin that kind of looked like Moises Alou.
They're brothers.
A bit of a deep cut there. I'm going to go with Moises Roberto Alou.
It's a pretty good guess, honestly.
What the? Okay, so he's got no middle name, but he's got 3 last names, maybe.
Chad.
Moises Rojas. So that checks out to what I just said about Luis Rojas. Moises Rojas Alou, and who did you just say? Beltre. Moises Rojas Alou Beltre.
What the? How does that work?
I have no idea. We always run into this issue with
what a people. Crazy like love triangle or something like.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. I understand I understand 2 last names. You know, if it's like you don't want to drop the middle name, so it's like a hyphenated thing or something. But like 3 or more is a little. I don't know. I guess if you have like.
If that happens multiple times,
if it happens multiple times, I suppose. I don't know. It's still wild to me.
Anyway, he batted over 300 for his career.
That kind of surprises me.
He
Not
was
in
a
like a
six.
bad way, but like
Yeah.
anything over 300 is very, very good.
Yep. 303 for his career, 6-time All Star. He won the
I would have
97
put
World
him.
Series with the Marlins.
I would have put him around
Um,
like 280, 290s.
Yep. Over 2,000 career hits, 330 home runs. Not a bad,
Not a
not a
bad
bad little
resume.
career for himself. And he played
Is he?
17 years.
He's not
total.
in the Hall of Fame though, is he? I don't
No,
think
he
is.
did not make it.
No, I didn't think so.
Not-
The Major League Baseball, their Hall of Fame is probably, I would say, the most serious.
Toughest to get into, I would say, for sure.
I would probably say. I think maybe like of like all the other professional sports. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking wrestling is obviously like that. That's the Hall of Fame I'm thinking of, and that's a joke. Yeah. But I guess like really all professional sports. I guess the NBA too, which we'll get to because there's somebody on our list who could be, and he's not. So, yeah. Oh wait, is he? No, he's not.
No,
he's not in the Hall of Fame. We'll get there, but he's not in the Hall of Fame.
No,
because of something he doesn't have. Anyway, on this day, just a few years ago, give or take like 6, 1871. Jesse James, the famous outlaw, not the road dog Jesse James the outlaw. Fun fact, he was named after him. Anyway, Jesse James robs a bank in Corydon, Iowa, which I don't know where that is. So he robbed at the time in 1871 $45,000. So now to put it into perspective, we tried to break this down and get a converter because obviously inflation. That was so long ago that we couldn't even find back that time.
Yeah.
So we did it. I think the latest we were able to go was like 1913 or something.
I was going to say 1913 also.
I think it was 1913. It was a strange number. It wasn't like 10. It wasn't like a divisible of 5 that you would kind of expect. Mm-hmm. I think it was 1913, and it was, what was it, $1.5 million? I think it was like 1.5 and like some change, like 45 cents or something like that.
Yeah.
So like, if you think about it, that was in 1913. If you just bring that back to like 1871 when that was, you're got to be close to like 3 million, I would think.
Yeah.
You know, like that's got to be almost double.
It's a lot. I mean, it's a very substantial amount. Like Mike this is the reason we're saying it's like obviously 45,000 today isn't like that much.
It's still a lot. It's just like okay, whatever. But at that time, yeah.
You know, he's walking away with, you know, all of JP Morgan's everything that they got, you know, like right? a lot of money. So very famed outlaw for that reason, you know?
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
Yes. And so we both did Nisto drinks this week. Do you want to go first? So there's no Nisto eats. We'll both talk about Nisto drinks. Yeah. You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I can go first. Right? So there was no Nisto eats. Had a root canal done yesterday. It was supposed to be Thursday, but it happened on Friday. Happened on Foodie Friday. So obviously not the most ideal thing to do after getting a root canal would be eating. Also, Peep Austin shirt, pretty sick. Go to the bio description link in the bio in the description. Promo code Nisto ships for free shipping on all your future orders. Write it down. Put it on the refrigerator.
It's also in the description. You can look there and it'll tell you, hey, use Nisto ships.
It's also
guys
in the description. Do it. So yeah, no Nisto eats because root canal sucks. Feeling much better today. It's just a little sore from, you know, going like this for quite some time and, you know, doing all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
The dentist, not me. So I did a Nisto drinks and it was a bang flavor. It was Georgia peach sweet tea. So I've seen their sweet tea flavors only online before. I've never seen them in person. Well, I did a few times in Florida, never here on Long Island. but I saw a couple of them, and like I was always in a rush, so I didn't want to get it as my bang for the day. That sounds horrible and so unhealthy, but whatever. I didn't want to get that one for my day because I wanted to do an episode on it, so I'd always put it off. And then I was waiting for my antibiotics from the pharmacy, and I was in Publix and I saw it and I was like, let's do this. Let's
It's time.
this is what we're gonna do. Since I knew I wasn't gonna be able to eat, so it was good. It was. I said it in the episode. It caught me by surprise because it wasn't carbonated, and I kind of had it. I expected it to be because it's Bang. It's an energy drink that I'm used to having that carbonation with, but it didn't have that. But I'm glad it didn't. As I kept going with it, I was very glad it didn't because I think that could have taken away from the peach tea-ness, and like it wouldn't have tasted like an iced tea really,
Right.
or a sweet tea. So I thought it was good. I liked it. It was different. It was a different kind of energy drink. It was almost not even an energy drink. It didn't even taste like an energy drink.
It was an energy tea.
Yeah, energy tea, which
Right.
was pretty good. I know there's other flavors. I don't know what they are off the top of my head. I think there's also like a lemon tea, maybe.
Okay.
Could be making that up. I'll have to look.
I feel like I might have seen that too, to be honest.
I
But
think I think that's one of them. I think they have like regular like like tea flavors, which is interesting. So I want to give them a try I should say, when I get around to it.
yeah, no, it definitely sounds. I definitely agree with you. I mean, I haven't tried it, but like, I feel like anytime that they try to infuse it and make it carbonated with something that's like a flavor that you like typically wouldn't associate with
Yeah,
carbonation or another drink like that. I feel like they probably made the right decision there. But then it is also kind of weird, like getting it out of a can is something else. Like I
yeah,
always expect something in a can to be carbonated, and then when
yeah.
it's not, it's a little weird.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, unless you grab like an Arizona or something,
yes,
then you're obviously not expecting carbonation. But when you grab like an energy drink, you're expecting some carbonation. So, yeah, it definitely threw me off the first couple sips for that exact reason.
yeah. And so my drink was in a can as well, and it was carbonated.
Mhm.
Absolutely beautiful segue. And
It was.
um, so I was a little, I was intrigued by this drink that I saw. It came in a nice, like reddish pink can. It had the yellow details on it. It was strawberry lemon flavored, and I said, "Oh, this looks very good." And then I saw it said prebiotic soda, and then I said, "Okay." And then I said, "Wait, it said prebiotic soda?" I'm very familiar with the term probiotics.
Right.
That's very common in kombucha and all of those other things that I've tried and stuff like that. So I said, "Well, now this is double interesting. I don't even know what this means. I have to look into it a little bit." And so my kind of conclusion on it is, uh, it has like my one sentence summary is like it's a little bit more than a sparkling water, and it's not quite as like pungent as a soda. And I think that that's a very
Hmm.
nice middle ground for a lot of
It
people. Like,
is.
some people want a little bit more than just water, and then they get a sparkling water, a flavored sparkling water, that has no calories, no sugars, no anything else to it. But then your next thing, you know, would be, getting a full soda that has sugar, a diet soda, whatever you want, that has an immense amount of flavor, a lot of, stuff,
Yeah.
a lot of flavor, a lot of stuff going on. And I feel like this one was kind of in the middle. It was only 15 calories. So it wasn't nothing, but it was just a little something. It had 4 grams of sugar. It wasn't zero, but it wasn't nothing. It was just something a little bit in the middle. And then it also claims, again, like you can't tell right off the bat if the prebiotics are going to work. It's not like a tangible
Yeah.
health difference or anything like that that you can feel, but it is something worth noting that it says it's going to be improving your gut. It says it has apple cider vinegar in it, which,
Ah,
you
I need
know,
to try some of that.
yeah, apple cider vinegar is a very potent ingredient a lot of times, and a lot of people talk about it being very healthy for the tom tom and all that type of stuff. um but it didn't shine through. Like there was no grossness of like the of kombuchas that I've tried in the past or anything like that. There was nothing.
That's good.
But it was just nice and mellow. And then the strawberry lemon flavor, I thought was great. I'm a big fan of strawberry lemonade. It definitely had that vibe to it. I mentioned in the review the McDonald's frozen strawberry lemonade. I don't know if you ever had that, Mike. It's like a seasonal thing. Sometimes they have it. Some summers they have it. Some summers they don't. I don't know if they have it right now. When it first came out and I first tried it, I feel like I was like 13 maybe. That was my favorite drink in the world.
I'll have
McDonald's
to keep an
frozen
eye on
strawberry
that.
lemonade.
I'll have to keep an eye on it if it ever comes back. I mean, everything comes back usually. So
yeah, but it brought me back to that, and so that's why I gave it a very, very good score.
Yeah,
very solid score, and I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for more poppy beverages. I didn't say it. POPPI, poppy. Reach out.
Do it.
I'm a fan of your product, and I'll keep talking about it if you guys want me to. But for right now, I will be stopping unless Mike has any more questions.
I do not. I think they should also sponsor us, though.
Yes, we're fishing. Yeah. So here we go. Sharing my screen. NBA Finals draft. We're getting right into it.
Not hockey.
It's not hockey.
It's not hockey.
We are not doing the hockey. Oh, no, again with the
what
stuff. Is that okay?
It looks the same. I didn't say. Oh, that's better. I see the blinker on the side.
Yeah, now we see the blinker. Yeah. I don't have the title to highlight this time. What do we do here? What do you want me to do?
Deal with the blinker, I suppose.
I could click on it again.
It's even worse. Because now there's a random anchor. There's an anchor up at the top left. What the hell is that about? Well, it's gone now. It's when you click on the thing.
No, it's still there.
No. I'm saying the anchor thing.
Oh yeah, the anchor is gone, but it's the blinker. Okay, I don't even know what blinker you're talking about because all I see is 15 great NBA players from past and present. So like I mentioned at the top of the show, the Eastern Conference Finals are still going on. We mentioned this at the end of the last show, I believe, that we weren't really sure. We said Bucks in 5. Mike was wrong.
I know. I mentioned it as a little bit of my biasness. You know, I thought my boys would be able to do it in 5. You know, Giannis has been dealing with health issues, but you know, everybody's banged up at this time of year. So
yes. It's getting.
We came up with a solution, and I think it's a pretty good one.
Yeah. So instead of probably if we only had the 2 teams, we would probably have done like 2 for each position or something like that. Yeah. So there would have been a bigger pool to pick from. But instead, we just went all 3 teams. So the Suns are in. And that's very exciting. They have not won a championship in their history. I looked it up. None. The last time that they were in the finals was because of this man right here, Charles Barkley, in '93, and he lost to the Chicago Bulls. But
that was the guy I was talking about before. For those who didn't pick up on it, yes, probably the best player not in the Hall of Fame because he doesn't have a ring.
Right.
So NBA is another tough one to get into. I guess if you don't have a ring, you're not getting it.
It's definitely the ring is definitely a big one.
It could be a make or break thing.
So I'm gonna run down all the participants.
Yes,
we got here, in the draft, and again we went with the oldest player we have here. Play his last year, I believe, is Dominique Wilkins. His last year was 1999.
Excuse me.
So, or Barkley was around the same time, late 90s.
Yeah, late 90s.
So that was kind of the cutoff here. And so we don't have a few older legends, but it is what it is. We didn't want to go way back to the black and white days for Hawks players and Bucks players. But here we go. For the Phoenix Suns, for the point guard, we got Steve Nash. Shooting guard, Devin Booker. Small forward, Sean Marion. Power forward, Charles Barkley, as I just mentioned. And center, Amari Stoudemire. Ooh. All right. For the Hawks, we have current point guard Trae Young. Then we got shooting guard Joe Johnson. Small forward, human highlight reel Dominique Wilkins. Power forward, Paul Millsap. And then at center, we got many-time Defensive Player of the Year, Dikembe Mutombo. Then for the Bucks, we have point guard Brandon Jennings, shooting guard Ray Allen, Chris Middleton, and Giannis, the current small forward and power forward duo. And then Andrew Bogut at center.
Andre.
Yeah, almost went Andrea. Almost went
Right.
Andrea Barber.
Still thinking about Kimmy Gibbler.
You know it, man.
Always. Yeah, pretty stacked here. Pretty stacked. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pick a starting 5 and a 6th man of whoever is left.
6th man's a wild card.
6th man is
can
a
be
wild
whoever
card.
you want.
Whoever it is that you want. I'm excited.
I'm very excited about this.
How do you want to do this?
I mean,
this isn't going to be a draft, right? Like we're doing it like the hockey one. We could have the same team if it happens that way. Okay.
Yes. We're not going to make it that way as we do.
Yeah,
but
we usually don't. You want to just go by position, call it easy, go start with the point guard and work our way down?
Sure. Yeah, because it doesn't like we just said, it doesn't matter. There's no strategy to the draft. So we'll just discuss position by position.
I think that's the best.
And get it going. So you can kick it off if you would like to.
Oh God, as I'm choking. Yeah, let's start off with the quarterback of the NBA, as they call them sometimes. They've called it that in the NBA game, so I didn't just make that up.
Oh no,
the point guards. We got Steve Nash, again for the Suns, Trae Young for the Hawks, and Brandon Jennings for the Bucks. We threw Jennings in there for the Bucks. He was really good for a really bad team. The Bucks have been really bad. Sorry, I thought I just broke my phone or my case. None of the above happened. Actually, still can't confirm the volume switch. Okay, no, we're good. Sorry. It's because I'm fiddling with it. Got to get something else to fiddle with here. Sorry. Here's a pen. Good. The Bucks were really, really bad until pretty much Giannis came around and saved the day, so to speak. So we wanted to give Jennings a shout there. He's very good on a very bad team. That being said, I'm not picking him. It's no, I mean, it's tough. I mean, he was good, but when you're up against, I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame yet, but probably a future Hall of Famer, Steve Nash. And I mean, at this rate, Trae Young will probably be a future Hall of Famer if he keeps going with this, so it's kind of tough to, go with like a guy like Brandon Jennings, who was very good, but you have guys like Nash and Young. That being said, man, it's tough. It's really like a coin flip. I think I am going to go with Trae Young, though.
Okay.
I think for me, as a point guard, I mean, maybe correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, Steve Nash was amazing at the free throw line, though. How was he with his 3-point game? I can't remember Steve Nash having all that great of a 3-point game.
Steve Nash was not.
It was like an okay.
Yeah, he was probably around league average if I had to guess. Nothing too special. Trae Young, I mean, that's one of the premier facets of this game.
Exactly, and that's why I'm gonna go with Trae, because for my memory, Steve Nash wasn't the best at threes. Obviously, lights out at the free throw line, but I think nowadays teams are like living and dying by the 3 ball. Not that I agree with it, but for a point guard, I want somebody who can just pull up, come down the court right off the inbounds, drain a 3 right in your face, or drive to the lane, do something fancy, or drive to the lane, do something fancy, kick out with a nice pass or something. And I feel like Trae Young does all the above. So Trae Young is going to be my point guard.
That's a very good pick and very good rationale as well. I think Trae Young, I'm going to talk about Trae Young here for maybe 45 seconds here. I hate Trae Young.
Oh, wow.
Trae Young, well, I hate him because he's good. He's definitely one of those players that has my respect at this point. This has been an incredible playoff run. They've been the underdog in every series. They knocked off the 4 seed Knicks. They knocked off my 1 seed Sixers.
I didn't really
And
like what he did with the Knicks, but
well,
there's a
no,
little
that's the thing.
bias.
That's the thing. I said I hate him. He's a pest.
Yeah, he was
He
becoming a
he
little
plays
pest, right?
he plays off that negative energy, and he performs. He really does. He's had a lot of big games in these playoffs that really have cemented himself as one of the premier players in the league. Like Mike said, he really has a very unique game that he's able to shoot the three so well and also get into the paint, set up his big men for a lob. No one knows if the
Right.
floater's coming or if he's going to dish it off to Capella or, one of the many 3-point shooters they have. And like you said with Steve Nash, very good free throw shooter. That's a huge part of Trae Young's game too, getting to the line. That's another thing I kind of despise about him. He does hunt for fouls, and that's something that a lot of people are criticizing him about too.
I don't like guys that do that.
All that being said, because I don't like him that much, I can't pick him. Brandon Jennings, 55-point game as a rookie, absolutely insane. But I can't pass up Steve Nash. Steve Nash, like you said,
He'll be
is
your player
on
coach.
his way to being a Hall of Famer. He's coach of the Nets right now, who did get knocked off by the Bucks in the semifinals. But Steve Nash, 2-time back-to-back MVP with the Suns. If we're talking, he also obviously had a tenure with the Mavericks and the Lakers. But as he spent his prime with the Suns,
He was
obviously
he was on the championship team with the Mavericks, right?
no, he was not.
So does he not have a ring?
He does not have a ring. I think he's going to get in though.
You think
I think
so?
he's going to get in.
He could be Charles Barkley.
I think the two MVPs are going to get in, but him. So we'll get to Barkley later. But Steve Nash ran into those Lakers teams over and over again.
Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal.
They had some classic matchups in the Western Conference, but I'm pretty sure, like I just said, I looked it up before. They never even made it to the finals, so it might be a little tough to they might critique his playoff experience, but I mean, the two regular season MVPs, one of the greatest passers that we've ever seen. So I'm going to go with Steve Nash for my point guard.
All right, that's fair. I mean, we'll get to him more, Charles Barkley. But did Chuck ever win MVP? Probably not, with being around Jordan all those years, right?
He might have won one.
Okay,
I think he might have won one.
Personally, with Nash not having a ring, I don't think. I don't know. I think if Chuck's not in, I don't think Steve's going to get in. But we'll see. Time will tell. You have to be retired for what? Is it like 8 years or something like that? I don't know what the rule is.
It's a decent chunk of time. It might be 5. I think MLB is 5.
5 or 8. So for whatever reason, those numbers are sticking out. Anyway, for shooting guard, current shooting guard, point guard for the Suns, Devin Booker, Joe Johnson for the Hawks, and Ray Allen for the Bucks. Ray Allen, we looked up. He was there for first 6 years of his career, and then going to the Supersonics and Celtics, and then cup of tea everywhere else.
The Heat.
Heat, and the Cavs too for a second.
Maybe, I don't know, but I only brought up the Heat. He made that huge shot in the finals.
Yeah, crazy. He was with the big three, and he wasn't even one of the big three.
Nope.
That being said, here, oh man, so this one might be the hardest one, I think. For me.
I was just looking. I think I might agree with you.
I think this is the toughest one because like I don't obviously don't want to go with like all the current guys, but like Devin Booker is so good, and he's so young, and he's going to continue to get better, just like Trae Young. I'm very biased with Joe Johnson. I really like Joe Johnson. I liked him with the Nets. I was telling Austin off camera, or I was telling Stin off camera that that he was my guy with when he was on the Nets. I got his jersey, and then he got traded instantly. And everyone except for my Giannis jersey has been bad luck for me when buying a basketball jersey. So I can't do it. I think my first ever basketball jersey was a Dwight Howard Magic jersey. That one took a few years for him to get out, but eventually got out. Yeah, the Joe Johnson one. I got it was around Christmas time. J.R. Smith and Amon Shumpert and then they were traded in the same exact trade. And now, of course, I got Giannis, but I'm going off on a tangent. All that being said, I think I honestly I'm going Ray Allen. I think he's just got ice in his veins, and for the longevity of his career, for always having that ice in his veins, and like you just mentioned, the Heat, just like no quit in him. And maybe some people will say like he's one dimensional, could really only shoot the threes. He was a pretty good free throw shooter as well when he got to the line. But like I was saying before with Trae Young, teams are living and dying by the three. I don't really necessarily agree with it. But if I got Trae Young picking and popping, picking and rolling, doing all the handles, and then you got wide open Ray Allen in the corner because Trae's getting a double team. Trae does one of these, Allen in the corner,
just like
bang,
that.
Bang. He was doing all of this and then this. He's got to go behind the head pass.
That would be sick.
To Ray Allen, free game. The end. I'm sticking with Ray Allen.
Gotcha. That's a super solid pick. I definitely like the idea of having. I mean, all three of these guys, like you said, they're very like, in my head, they're very close. They are all like very prolific scorers. All pretty good shooters from all levels of the game. And I think it's hard because it kind of comes down to personal preference. I don't want to go back-to-back Suns here, so I'm going to rule out Devin Booker. And I don't want to pick the same as you for Ray Allen, so I'm going to go with Joe Johnson.
The thing too, sorry, I want to mention this too with Devin Booker. I feel like Devin Booker, especially with Chris Paul being out for the majority of these playoffs, he's also kind of been like a point guard kind of role. And I feel like with him and Trae, if they were on the same team, I feel like it wouldn't mesh very well. I feel like, it's nice to have options, to have the guys like bring up the ball and stuff, but like, I don't know. I just feel like both of them together, it wouldn't really work because they both kind of are similar.
Yes, I agree with that for you. But I think Devin Booker would work well on my team because even during the regular season, Chris Paul is a ball dominant player. I'm saying like Trae Young is, I would say, more ball dominant, but Steve Nash and Chris Paul are kind of similar that, scoring isn't their first priority. They look for the pass first so they can get 100%. Devin Booker that ball. So I could have went with D-Book there, I think, and I think it still would have meshed well with Nash. I do agree with Young. Probably would have been some more chemistry issues potentially, but I'm going with Joe Johnson. Let me talk about that for a sec. He actually played for the Suns for a hot minute. I think he probably overlapped with Steve Nash. And he was an absolute bucket. If that's the one thing I would say about Joe Johnson. As he was clutch too, you said ice in his veins for Ray Allen. I'm gonna say Joe Johnson, man. You looking for a bucket? He's gonna get it to you. Give it to him in the post. He'll do a little fade away. Kick it out to him for the three. He's gonna hit it. Joe Johnson. I feel like underrated because he was just such a good scorer. Didn't have too many other facets to his game. Not the best rebounder, passer, or anything, but he could score. And that's what I'm going to go with for my shooting guard position.
Yeah, solid shooting guard, small forward kind of guy. And when he was heating up, he was heat up.
Yes.
And I think that goes to like the ice in his veins. I think like when he was on, he was on.
Yeah,
I would say he's very streaky because he was also the flip side of that too.
Oh yeah,
when he wasn't on, he was not.
I know that there was a lot of 5 for 19 Joe Johnson games out there for sure, or maybe a little 6 for 24. Melo. Yeah. I always think about Melo when I think of those games too. Yep. He was a prolific scorer, but sometimes when the mid range wasn't on and he was still forcing it, you got those ugly stat lines. Yeah, so sure. I do acknowledge that with Joe Johnson as well, and Ray Allen maybe a little bit more consistent on that, but I'm going with Joe Johnson.
All right. For the small forward, I think it's pretty obvious who I'm going to pick for the next two picks, but we'll still talk about it here. For the
I
Suns,
can carry the load there. Yeah.
Yeah. For the Suns, we got Sean Marion, Dominique Wilkins for the Hawks, and then of course my boy, Chris Middleton for the Bucks. Yeah, Sean Marion actually did play for the Suns. Us and I, or Stin and I were Tin.
You can't go with thin.
I'll go on. So Tin and I we're talking about that because we're like, I don't remember that, but he did. He actually had his best years with the Suns. Like really good. We just remember the latter stages of his career where he was kind of not good. But yeah, he was there. Anyway, let's cut to the chase here. I'm picking Chris Middleton every single time. I am I am a Bucks fan because of Chris Middleton, mainly because Chris Middleton. Obviously, like Giannis is cool and all. He's an Isto Bros Hall of Famer. We'll talk about him. We'll talk about him in a little bit. But Chris Middleton was why I continued to stick with the Bucks. I don't know. I don't think I've ever told the story on camera with the Bucks.
I'm not sure if you have.
I don't know. So there was one year. It was. I wish I knew the game. My memory is just so bad. I wish I knew the game. I wish I knew who they were playing. But it was probably like 3 years ago or so. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get really into basketball. And I'm still learning. I'm still trying. Okay, I'm not learning the game. Like I know the game, but I'm trying to. It's tough when it's the same time as hockey. It's very tough.
Well, it's the same. It's the same thing we talked about last time with me and trying to get into hockey. And
yeah, it's the same thing, just opposite. You know, I'm the hockey guy, you're the basketball guy, so it's tough for me to want to try and get so invested in a basketball season when there's also a hockey season. And being that I like 67 hockey teams, of course, it's difficult. So, but I was trying this one year. It was the playoffs, and it was game one. I don't remember who the Bucks were playing, but they were down by 3.
With Celtics?
Maybe. I really don't remember. It might have been. I don't remember. I'm not going to lie and say I know because I don't. But I know they were down by 3 with, I think it was either 7 or 9/10 of a second left.
Points.
It was less than 1 second. The Bucks had the ball, and I'm like, well, this sucks. They lose game 1. Okay. They inbound to Middleton. At the inbounds was like at half court. You know, it was kind of like where they do that, like right in front of the benches, in between the benches, kind of like where the subs would check in. That's where the throw-in was, the inbound. The throw-in, I'll be calling too much soccer. The inbound was. And Middleton gets it from like, you know, like the elbow, the arc, like right there, but like far. Gets it, somehow gets the shot off, and it goes in to go to overtime. I am never, to this day, I've never been so excited about a basketball game in my entire life. I was in my room. Maybe I was down here. No, I was probably in my room. And I was screaming. I was going nuts. It was incredible for them to lose in overtime. And I was like, I don't, you know what? Like, it sucks. They lost in overtime, but like, that was insane. And from that moment on, it's been the Bucks. It's been Chris Middleton for me. Chris Middleton's my favorite player on the Bucks in the NBA. I'll say.
Had to pick him. I
had to pick him.
Well, I'll go into the other two a little bit more because we just talked about Chris Middleton for a minute there.
Sorry.
No. It was a good pick.
I get excited.
Definitely solid. So we got Dominique Wilkins here. We were just again looking at all these guys. So I saw he actually has a scoring title, and he scored 30 points a game multiple times in his career. Obviously, he's known for I'd say most known for his dunk contest battles with Michael Jordan in the late 80s. You know, Dominique going with the windmill and all that. But I feel like I don't know his game tremendously well. I remember he, you know, decent from the mid-range, probably very good finisher around the rim, but prolific scorer, obviously. But looking at Sean Marion's stats, I'm going with Sean Marion, the Matrix. Hey. That was his nickname.
The Matrix. I like that.
Yeah. Obviously not there. He's not going to be there for the ugly jump shot. That's not why I'm picking him. But I'm picking him for the defensive tenacity, and I'm picking him to lock up Chris Middleton. You know, if our two teams were to be playing each other, Sean Marion would do his best to put some clamps on Chris Middleton. I know Chris Middleton, great scorer, but Sean Marion, very good defender. Another surprising thing, great rebounder for his height, and could score the basket as well, despite the dysfunctional jump shot. And I'm going a little bit with some chemistry picks here because Joe Johnson, Sean Marion, Steve Nash all wore that exact Suns jersey, the one with they have the ring there. Also, the cursor has stopped blinking. I don't know why, but I'm not going to touch it.
I noticed that before, and then it started.
I needed to comment on it.
I like it. Yeah, Sean Marion. He's a good pick. Good pick. And
yes.
There was one season you said he averaged a double. So props to his rebound stats.
20 and 10.
Yeah, 20 and 10.
It's not like
I thought you said it was 25 and 15 or 11 rather. 15 rebounds.
Yeah. I was just saying at least 20 points, at least 10
yeah.
I forget the exact numbers.
I think it was 25 and 11. I don't remember.
Yes,
but yeah,
it
was
something like that.
Either way, no matter what, it could be 20 and 10. That's still averaging a double, and that's still very impressive.
Yeah.
Onto the go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say on the power forwards.
Yeah, on the power forwards, the one of the best players to not be in the Hall of Fame, no rings, Charles Barkley, for the Suns, Paul Millsap for the Hawks, and the first ever Nisto Bros Hall of Famer, the probably going to be 87-time MVP, the GOAT, the King, Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's obviously no surprise who the hell I'm picking here. Okay, yeah. I'm not even gonna talk too much about it because Giannis is the guy. Okay, he has ice in his veins too. He beat LeBron, and I'll never forget him taking the crown. He did this. He did this crown the gif of this. That I like it. I gotta say though, there's one thing I don't like about him, and it's nothing that he can change. I hate his voice. It doesn't fit. It's like
that's another reason I hate Trae Young. I don't know if you've ever heard Trae Young talk. He sounds like he's 14 still.
He's very weaselly.
So weaselly. I want to punch him, bro. Sorry.
He kind of looks weaselly.
Anyway, Giannis's voice is a little.
It doesn't match, and I guess that's because he's Greek and stuff. I don't know. It just doesn't match. But it doesn't matter when you're the GOAT, when you're the king. you can talk like anything and anyone you want because you're the best, and I hope they make it, and I hope they win. Obviously.
Well, I'm not going to delay it anymore. I'm also going to pick Giannis also. I feel like this has to be the one. I mean, one of the only players, I think maybe 3 all-time to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season, and he was also back-to-back MVP. He was in MVP considerations this year, although he did not win. And I think it would be really
Who did win it? Sorry.
Nikola Jokic won this year.
Oh, okay.
The Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I got to go with Giannis. I'm bolstering my defense even more by picking a 6'11" power forward who can guard literally any position with his freakishly long wingspan, and freak. I think he just adds to my team really well. And like we said, he was not only Mike's guy. He's the first ever Nisto Bros Hall of Famer. That was the best current athlete. That's what the Hall of Fame was. The 2-hour long episode that no one probably sat through the whole thing because but that's what it was. It was the Nisto Bros Hall of Fame unanimous choice. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I had to pick him.
How could you not?
So there it is. That's my next pick. And now we're moving on to the centers.
Amari Stoudemire, Mutombo. I'm not gonna try and say his first name. I'm probably not gonna say it right.
Dikembe Mutombo.
I know that, but I just like looking at it. I feel like I'm gonna say it wrong. Anyway, Mutombo and Andrew Bogut. Andrew Bogut again, like Brandon Jennings, on a very bad Bucks team, but he was very, very good. And also just has a very good career. Just throughout. Very
won some rings with the Warriors at the end of his career.
A very good
contributing member there.
Yeah, he was. I was gonna say he was actually a big part of those rings too. Obviously, the Currys and the Thompsons and stuff like that. But Bogut was there. He was very.
You need a big man down there for sure.
And at that time too, that he was like their only big man. They were trying to like go away from the center at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had like Draymond Green as like their big man. It's like the guy's what 6'10" or if that.
Not even.
I'm not saying that that's short. Obviously, you got almost a foot on me. But anyway, that being said, absolutely hate Amari Stoudemire with a passion. Till I die. Okay, that's a little dramatic. It's a little extra. I just don't like him. I don't like him. He was on the Knicks. Hated him from day one. I think his goggles are stupid and ugly. As someone who wears glasses, I think they're stupid and dumb. Why? So my biggest thing with this imbecile, okay? Why the hell, when he was at the free throw line, did he take his goggles and flip them up? Maybe he would have been better at the free throw line if you left them on, you clown.
Yeah, I never knew. I never understood that either.
Why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. He's an idiot. He's an idiot. He's a clown. He got injured by punching an exit sign or something stupid like that. Guy's an idiot.
So it sounds like you're probably going to pick Stoudemire.
I'm leaning towards Amari Stoudemire, and I'm leaning him over a cliff, and I'm pushing him. No, I'm going with Mutombo. I can't say his first name. Dikembe. That's it. Dikembe Mutombo. Because defense. I want defense. I need more defense on this team. Trey Allen. Listen to me. Trae Young. I was looking at them both. Trae Young, Ray Allen, obviously prolific scorers. So is Middleton. So I'm like, okay, where's the defense? Giannis obviously will still play better defense. But Mutombo was very much defense. He's got freaking commercials blocking people with their papers at the office and stuff.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
Four-time defensive player of the year.
4 times. So yeah, I'm going with Dikembe Mutombo and his no. Gotta have
gotta sign up for that Geico commercial.
And I'm gonna say right now, before we get to the sixth man, it won't be Amari Stoudemire. Why do you have a comma, an apostrophe in your first name too? That's dumb.
I don't even know where to go after that. I'm thinking
you can't pick Stoudemire.
I might have to pick Stoudemire. I'm kind of leaning not over the cliff though, but just because again, this is another more chemistry. I'm just talking it out here. I don't know who I'm gonna go with actually right now, but him and Steve Nash are one of the greatest pick and roll duos of all time.
Doesn't matter.
They ran the pick and roll into the ground, and it always worked. It worked really well. Steve Nash attacked from the mid range, getting to his spots, hitting Amari up for the lob. They did the in the dunk contest that one year. Steve Nash did a header, or kicked it or something like that because he's good at soccer, and then Amari dunked it.
Steve Nash was one of those guys. He's like Dolph Ziggler. He can make anybody look good. Mark's gonna like that comment, but it's true. He can make anybody look good. Look at how Amari did with the Knicks.
Bad.
Yeah.
Mutombo, obviously, I want for my defense as well. Amari was not very good on defense, and then
he wasn't
Andrew
good.
Bogut,
period. Sorry, I'm just fired.
Andrew Bogut. I don't know. It doesn't move the needle too much for me. Has one of the most gruesome injuries in NBA history.
Oh
in my
my
opinion.
God, yeah.
Because it's not your typical leg injury; it's the arm, and that's why it gets me every time. I guess I'm going to go with Mutombo. I think Mike probably talked me out of Stoudemire. I don't want to have the exact same team as Mike, but I love the defense. Yeah, I know, but I love the defense. Shoring it up, Giannis and Mutombo down low, having Marion on the wing trying to lock up their best scorers. Going to be very helpful. And then Joe Johnson, Steve Nash, they're going to provide the offensive firepower for us.
I like it.
Where's your sixth man going to be at, Mike? We can go anywhere. Any team, any position. Yeah, it's all up to you.
So not Stoudemire because he's at the bottom of the cliff. I talked about him before, and it was tough to not pick him even with Booker and Allen there. But I'm going Joe Johnson. That's more of a sentimental pick for me right there. But also, like, he could do both. He could play that shooting guard and like small forward position. Obviously, not known really for his defense, but like if required, if I ask him to, be like, hey, go get some rebounds. So it should be like, aye, coach. And,
Captain.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him. But obviously there's a lot of guys that you could pick from.
Yeah, I'm torn here. I'm between two different fellows for my sixth man here.
I feel like I know one of them.
I feel like I looked, like I said before, with the shooting guards. I feel like they're all a little bit similar. So I don't want to double up on one of them. That's just for my team personally, how I'm trying to construct it. Centers, like I just said, I think Mutombo will be able to hold down the fort there, and Steve Nash is obviously one of the greatest point guards of all time. So I'm between Dominique and Charles Barkley. That's the two I'm between, actually.
Those were not one of the ones I was thinking.
You think I was going to pick Middleton?
I was thinking Ray Allen.
Oh, Ray Allen. Yeah.
I was thinking Ray Allen.
Six man. I really wanted Ray Allen, but I don't want to have. I don't want to have everyone say.
I know what you mean.
Dominique Wilkins is going to be my pick, though.
All right, it's a good pick.
I need the scoring firepower off of my bench, and that's what Dominique Wilkins is going to provide for me. He's going to be that spark plug. He's going to catch a lob from Steve Nash and then go like, and then absolutely
how'd that go?
And then absolutely bring the house down with that lob, and it's going to be electric. And then Giannis is going to swat the ball down half court, and Dominique's going to pick it up, and then he's going to do another windmill, and he's going to do it again.
How'd that windmill again? I can't remember. How'd that windmill
I'm going to do it the other way now.
Oh, the reverse windmill.
Yeah, he's going to go absolutely insane. Dominique Wilkins. I'm going to have a scoring champion off my bench, so that's all I'm going to say.
Good problem.
And I'm going to wrap up my team right here.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I started the timer way late.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I'm going to try to speed run it up here. We got
I was going to say we're probably overtime, but
Steve Canadian Nash.
Yeah, it was Canadian boy. Not was. He still is.
Still is. Joe Johnson. Didn't have a comment for him. Sean the Matrix Marion. Nisto Bros Hall of Famer Giannis Antetokounmpo, and center Dikembe Mutombo with Dominique Wilkins coming off my bench as the sixth man. Are you kidding me?
Pretty solid. I'm gonna try and do not middle names. I'm gonna try and do some nicknames for everybody here. You got Trey the Weasel Young as the point guard. Ray Ice in his veins Allen, the shooting guard, chilling in the corner. In the other corner, at the top of the key, Chris 0.9 seconds Middleton. That's weak. I don't like it anyway. The GOAT, the King, anything you want. Nisto Bros Hall of Famer. Yeah, what?
The Greek Freak.
Yeah, of course. But he's more known as the Nisto Bros Hall of Famer anyway.
Of course.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. And then last but not least, I don't know why I can't say his name.
You said it before.
Dikembe. For whatever reason, when I look at it, I can't say
about it.
I can't say it. No, Mutombo. And then on the bench, Double J, not Jesse James, Joe Johnson.
There it is.
That
is our NBA Finals draft. We're very excited. So, how are we going to give a prediction? How are we going to do this?
We could. I mean, we already said Bucks in 5, and clearly that's not going to happen. I think now Giannis has already been ruled out for Game 6. I think Trey has been ruled out for Game 6.
I think he was. I think I saw he was questionable still. So it could be a good old game time decision.
I know Giannis has been ruled out for Game 6, and he's questionable for Game 7, which scares the bejeepers out of me. Either way, I'm thinking one of these games go to overtime. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
I think either tonight. I think the game's tonight, right? Yeah,
Yep.
because it's
Yeah, it is.
alternating with hockey. I think it's either going to be tonight or Game 7. I still want the Bucks, but if Giannis isn't playing, I'm very scared. That's how I'm going to say it. I'm
gonna say
making
I have confidence. I think it's gonna be Bucks in 7, and then I'm gonna go with Suns in 6. That's my prediction.
Oh, true for the finals. Man, the Suns are on something this year, man.
Chris Paul's on a mission, man. Chris Paul is on a mission. He's back and he's on a mission.
Does he have a ring?
Nope. This is big. This is big. This is Chris Paul's moment, man.
Big for him.
This is Chris Paul's moment.
He's like 64 years old, so
I think he's like 36. Actually, he's very old.
In sports is about 64.
Yeah.
Oh,
getting close to that retirement age, man.
Yeah. Dude. I want to go with the Suns, but if it's against the Bucks, I can't root against the Bucks. I'll be happy for the Suns. So all right. I'll make a prediction if it's either. If somehow the Hawks win, I'm gonna say Suns in 6 as well. If it's Suns and Bucks, I'm going Bucks in 7.
Wow. All right.
I can't root against the Bucks. Even when I said it, I was hesitant. I'm not confident. I don't feel confident in the Bucks right now because I'm scared about the Hawks right now. Giannis being injured and battling stuff, it makes me scared.
Yes, it does. Let us know who you would have drafted for your teams, what we got right, what we got wrong. Leave some comments down below.
Yeah, let me know how much you hate Amari Stoudemire.
And I'm going to switch the share. Did it work, Mike?
No. Yes, now it did.
So we got an Instagram Reels for you, actually. I believe it's a video from at MLB, at Major League Baseball. And we had a funny moment in the Rays Blue Jays game last night where Brett Phillips, here's the caption, at Brett_Phillips 8, stuff is just unheard of, laughing, crying emoji. And here we go. I'm going to let the clip roll.
Is that Fergie? That's definitely not Fergie.
Get loose down there in the bullpen.
Too loud?
And he does so in original
That's right.
style.
So there'll be a link in the description for the audio learners. We got him warming up in the bullpen right now.
And then look at this. Bam! 94!
What?
94 at the belt.
Yeah. 94. Yeah.
The Blue Jays dugouts, what's going on? And then he drops a lollipop.
Cut it in half.
Get loose down
There it is.
What a beast. Like, I think every single one of his windups was different.
Yeah.
Austin shared another one with me. He balked because he dropped the ball during his windup because his windup was actually, I think he was in the stretch. It was just so ridiculous. He was just coming back and he dropped the ball and he balked. It's just I didn't see this game, but I would imagine whenever a position player comes in on the mound, it's usually a blowout.
I think I saw it was 10-1 on Twitter. It was 10-1 in the bottom of the 8th, and I feel like this is the best you can do when it gets to this situation. You got to make a light of it. Don't be a Tony La Russa about it and get all butthurt about the unwritten rules. Just have some fun with it. You're conceding the game. It's all right if your position player balks. It's all right if he chucks one at 94 and then drops it in half to 47. Are you kidding me? That's exactly half.
Yeah, it's exact. Like you said, you're conceding the game. Let's be real. You're probably not going to come back from a 10-1 with 2 innings left. It's not going to happen. It's very unlikely. You just take with what you can. You save your bullpen for another day. And personally, I don't like to see blowouts, but I like to see this. I like to see it, guys having a little fun out there, make light of a not so ideal situation for your team. And,
he doesn't turn at all. He just
he's just standing straight. I don't understand how he does it. I don't understand, honestly.
And the leg kick, it's crazy.
It's insane. What a gem. Sign him up. He's got some crazy stuff.
There it is. Brett Phillips is your post of the week, and I'm going to stop the screen share officially, and we're going to wrap it up with some
Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah. Oh, geez. So, I am home. I am home now for a week. Um, I need this break, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to, down in Florida. I've been trying to organize a tournament. I've been trying to organize a hide and seek tournament.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is. But good players are really hard to find.
Oh, come on. As you were saying it, I heard it, man. As you were building it up, I was like, oh no, they're gonna be hard to find. You can't hide and seek.
You can't. You
hiding
can't do it.
in good places. You can't find them. Wow. Very good.
Oh,
Very
man.
hard to find.
They're hard to find. All right, I'm excited. You said yours is good, but I might not
quick
get
hitter. It's a quick hitter for
It's
you.
a quick
Ready?
one. All right.
It's a question.
Okay.
So, how does Moses make his coffee? You know Moses?
Yeah.
Yeah, part of the seas. How does he make his coffee?
Does he part the beans?
He brews it. He brews. He brew. He brews it. Like
No.
Hebrew.
I get it. I get it. I just don't like it.
Come on. He brews it. He brews it. The Hebrew language.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Moses.
I get it.
Okay, well, that's all we got for this week's episode of the Nisto Bros podcast, episode 66. It was not about hockey. That was last week's episode 65. And episode 67 next week is going to be about the MLB All Star game. The starters were just announced yesterday, I believe, or 2 days ago. I saw Vlad Guerrero Jr. led all vote getters, which is very exciting. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the home run derby. Shohei Ohtani's going crazy. He's already up to 30 home runs. He's on pace for 60. You're going to hear about all that with our special guest, Mike Solicito, aka Solli. He's going to join us again, and we will talk all about that on episode 67. Don't forget to tune in. And also don't forget to check out the link in our description to download the Cheesley's app. What would happen if they happen to download that app, Mike?
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you asked.
I'm fired up.
I'm so glad I'm home because now on the Cheesley's app, I can go on there and place an order because I'm home. And if I load that bad boy up to $25, I can use the promo code Nisto Bros at checkout for $5 off the orders of 25 or more.
Do it. All right.
I cannot wait. I'm going to be home for another episode next week too, because I'll still hear from Saturday to Sunday, next Sunday. So I'll be exciting. I'll be in the man cave again. Two episodes in a row. It's very exciting.
All right. That's all from us. Yeah, anything else, Mike?
67. I don't think I do. No. Nisto eats. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm home. I could do some Long Island stuff. I could have a guest.
Let us know.
I could have a guest. Good. Let us know. Slide in the DMs. Slide in the comments. Slide in the text. Send me a MySpace message. Hit me up on AIM. What other old things can I think of? Call the house phone. That's a bit of a stretch here. Yeah. You hit me up on Kick and BBM. I'll put out a BBM.
That's a rough one. Oh my God, Kick. All right.
Kick was a.
We're off on something right now, man.
Me there. Yeah, just hit me up on MySpace or AIM. Those are the best form of contacts for me.
At Nisto Bros on Instagram.
Yeah, at Nisto Bros on Kick. Ew.
Right.
No.
I'm wrapping it. I'm wrapping it after that.
Wrapping it up.
Peace, love, sip.
Stay away from Kick and Amari Stoudemire. Eat and
listen. It's going to be easy to stay away from him if he's at the bottom of the cliff.
That's true. He could go down there with his kick. Or with a kick. Huh?